Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Politic Tube channel. Today I am going to summarize, I will try to do a kind of summary of my preceding videos, and at the same time I am going to give you my opinion about some aspects of contradictory or contradictions that we have got in our real lives about the reason why we think or we believe things act according to the influence that the culture or the mass media um, provoke in our way of thinking. Thank you very much. Welcome. Well, on the first and the second and the third video, I have been talking about how the power works in the world and how we discover that there are exactly three different powers, but there are two important structures that help to those powers. Uh, those powers are economic power, political power, and sex as a power. Education is one of the structures that those powers use to manipulate and to help themselves to keep the status quo. And uh, education and religion. But there is another structure that helps to keep the status of the social of the society, which is the culture. And according to the definition that we have got about the culture, we use Sebastián Serrano. Sebastián Serrano is a writer, and he wrote that the culture is like a sack or like a purse. And uh, during your life, one person during your life or one person is walking during his or her life, and this person is collecting objects of the culture. I mean, taking things or meanings or aspects of the of from the context where this person is living and putting them into a kind of purse or a big sack, and it's the person is carrying that sack. I imagine that person carrying heavy things and uh, very hard things, etc. And those aspects that the person is carrying correspond to the rules of the culture. So uh, this person is just working on himself in order to create a personal way of thinking based on what uh, this person is living. But when the person reduces the process of learning, the process of taking things from the context only to the culture, only to the society, probably this person will um, use or will be a kind of traditional person with a lot of contradictions, because when you are a traditional person, you keep the past or the ancient values, but this person is transforming the culture and getting new things to the sack. And one of the examples that Sebastián Serrano uses to talk about the evolution of that culture is when he says that when you take something from the context and you put that object into the parts or into the sack, uh, your hand is contaminated uh, from the context. And at the same time, that hand contaminates uh, all elements that you have got in the purse. But when you put the hand, all things which are in the purse, you mix them, and when you mix them, you are creating your own point of view. And when you take your hand out of the purse, it is logic that when you are going to take another element from the context, it is obvious that you are going to contaminate the context because of the action of your hands. It is important to emphasize that the hands, remember that there is a study about the influence of the thumb in the process of the human evolution, of the brain evolution, and the uses of the hands in the process of the brain human evolution, right? Maybe our writer, Sebastián Serrano, takes into account this process of using the hands in order to transform the culture. So the culture is not only what exists as kind of social rules in the contexts where people live, but also culture is what you believe, what you practice, what you improve about those social elements and how you use them. But culture is not only about those social rules or aspects, but also it is about um, traditions and customs, right? Traditions are those elements, social elements that you heritage from from your elders, from your parents or your grandparents, from your family, from the society in general. And your customs are those rites, I would say rites, that you have got to do something in the context. So remember, social rules, traditions, and customs correspond to the culture. And those social rules influence over your culture. Those traditions influence over your culture. Those customs are formed because of the influence of the traditions and the influence of the social contexts. So it means that one person is influenced to make decisions, and those influences come from the context. And if the person is not aware, if the person is not prepared, if the person only gets influences from the social context, maybe the person is going to be just an idiot, like the Greek philosophy. Remember that idiots in the Greek philosophy are represented by those who are not interested in politics. And that is why usually people get angry when somebody tells, hey, idiot. No, don't worry, idiot means that you are not interested in politics. But politics are around you, are around everywhere you go. There are politics, and those politics influence your way of thinking. And sometimes people, when take part about politics, they give their opinions, but they don't give arguments, and they don't understand how the world is just going deep into its own destruction, but that people don't see that their actions influence in the process of the destruction of the humanity. This is why that mixture between culture, religion is a part of the culture, between religion, traditions, customs, social rules, contexts, make your own brain, but that brain is already manipulated. And when you make a decision, that decision is the result or the consequence of the process of manipulation from the context, from the culture. And people don't realize that, and people think that they are original and that they make real decisions. People don't make any real decisions. Sorry. So I recommend you, to get free through reading. Reading is the only tool or the only weapon that can destroy your own brain and build it up. And I believe that if somebody doesn't read and only gets information from television, from Caracol, from RCN, from those channels which manipulate the opinion through the over giving you information, uh, that person who only gets that kind of information is just an idiot, and it is a useful person to keep the status. And that is why you meet poor people at defending rich interests, at saying, no, our democracy is a real democracy because we have got roads to travel, and one poor person almost never travel. Those roads were built up for rich people. No, we can take an airplane without any danger. It is ridiculous. Poor people almost never in their lives take an airplane. And they defend the rich way of thinking, and they are poor. It's incredible. This is what I call contradictions. You say, for example, that you are Christian and your faith will save you, and your actions contradict totally what you say in totally Christianism philosophy. So, for example, you say, no, I am Christian, I love everybody, but my neighbor is stupid because this and this and this reason. So at the same time, you are saying that you are a Christian, you are destroying somebody, because it is mandatory to respect to others according to the Christianism, according to almost all religions. So this is the result of the manipulation. People believe that they are original at thinking, but really they are repeating the information or the rules or the patterns that they are receiving from TV channels, internet, etc. Because they are not critic in front of themselves. They are not critic in front of the society. They just follow the mass. They follow other people, and they believe what others say because they don't have arguments. They haven't studied, they haven't read any book to support their ideas. This is the problem of our society. Opinions, no arguments. Thank you very much.